Hello everyone. So welcome back. So we'll be continuing with the second part of this chapter, which is the fun they had. So we'll go on to the sixth paragraph. As we've completed the fifth paragraph earlier, we've stopped at the fifth paragraph. We'll start at sixth one. Okay. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully. Centuries ago. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know that what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, Anyway, they had a teacher. Okay, so according to this paragraph, it says that Tommy looked at her eyes, whose eyes, Margie's eyes, in a superior way, in a very specific way, into her eyes, and said, "Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds years ago." See, he is telling that, "Oh, stupid, this is not the system of the type of schools which we are having now. That was the system in the olden times before hundreds and hundreds of years." He added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, "centuries ago." So he said that nothing but centuries ago, this was the kind of this education system. And we have a word named loftily, which means in a superior way, in a better way. Loftily means in a better way. Okay? He pronounced it very carefully because it was a kind of new word for them. Centuries ago. Century means 100. So centuries, plural word. Centuries ago, hundreds, 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago. Okay? Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all the time ago. So she was like depressed, or she was like feeling sad. Like, see, I am wondering what type of school they had all the time, long time back ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while. So instead of Tommy, Margie read that book for a while. She read the book for a while and then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." So she said, "Anyway, they had a teacher. They had a teacher. It was a man." See, she was like, Margie was very shocked. What? A teacher is a man? A living person? Then, sure, they had a teacher. See, Tommy says, yes, absolutely, they had a teacher. But it wasn't a regular teacher. See, it wasn't a regular teacher. Regular teacher was in the sense about the robotic teacher, or in their case, it was like the robotic teacher. And they said it was a man. So they said that it was a man. See, we have another good word, regular. Here, normal, of the usual kind. See, according to their case, it was the normal and the usual thing, which was the robotic teacher, which they were referring to as regular teacher. But it wasn't the regular teacher, it was the man. It was a man. Okay, a man? Then Margie was shocked. A man? How could a man be a teacher? She was surprised. Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. So the man who was the teacher for them in the olden days would give boys and girls same things as homeworks, and he would ask questions. Okay, This was the 6th para, and we'll move on to the 7th one. A man isn't smart enough. See, Margie raised it out. A man isn't smart enough, she said. But Tommy replied, sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. See, Tommy says that my father knows as much as a teacher. So he tries to convey Margie that man is smart enough. He knows almost as much. I betcha. See, he says, I bet you he knows as much as the robotic teacher. Okay? See, betcha. Betcha is the informal one. I bet you. In fast speech, I'm sure. Okay? Yeah. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. Dispute means disagreeing with. So she was not agreeing that it was correct. Like the man isn't smart enough. Okay? She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. So she said that she does not want a stranger to actually come inside his house and teach her. So she was like afraid. Oh, a stranger is coming and teaching me. Okay? Tommy screamed with laughter. Tommy has screamed with laughter. With a laughing sensation, he has screamed loudly. You don't know much, Margie. He said, you don't even know much about this thing, Margie. The teachers didn't live in any house. So he said, teachers would not live in any house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. See, he says that in that olden time, all the students were going to a special building where all the facilities were provided and for education, for learning. So the teachers and students would meet there and they would learn. And all the kids learned the same thing. See, he said that all the kids were learning the same thing. There was no partiality, there was nothing else like one boy should learn less and one boy should learn more, or one girl should learn less or one girl should learn more. Okay? Sure, if they were the same age. See, if they were the same age, they would have a same teacher, and if they have a same teacher, everybody would be taught the same thing, even if it is for the boys even if it is for the girls. Okay? So we'll go on to the 8th para. So we have seen dispute, disagree with a word. Okay? But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. See, but my mother says, But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted. See, Margie's mother says that a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid had to be taught differently. See, Margie's mother's intention is that every student must be taught differently, because every student will have a different mindset, so that every student cannot grasp the same thing whatever the teacher is willing to teach for every person in the class. So she means that everybody must be taught differently, because their thought process of every individual would be different, so that one can understand it or nor one can not understand it. So thus everybody must be taught differently. Just the same they did didn't do it that way then. But Tommy said that no, they did not do like that the same way then. If you didn't like it, if you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. See, if you Tommy said that if you don't like this topic, please do not read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. See, Margie already said, when did I say I didn't like it? Margie said it quickly. I never said that I disliked this. She wanted to read about these funny schools. So, see, Margie is telling that she would like to read these interesting topics about these funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie, school. See, Margie's mother called that Margie, school time. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama, she said. Looked up and said, not yet, Mama. Then, now, said Mr. Jones. And it's probably time for Tommy too. See, Tommy also it was the time for Tommy to also go to the school, like into the schoolroom. Then Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? She asked to Tommy that, can I read the book some more with you after school? See, she was like interested inside the topic and she thought of reading the book with him after the school. Okay, done. So we'll go on to the 9th para. Okay, maybe, he said nonchalantly. See, nonchalantly, not showing much interest or enthusiasm or carelessly. See, he said maybe with not much interest or with not any enthusiasm and carelessly. He walked away, whistling, with the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. So he was holding the book beneath his arm and he was walking away. Margie went into the classroom, which was nothing but the schoolroom. Classroom was nothing but in the sense schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom. The mechanical teacher was on the waiting for her. It was always on at the same time, every day except on Saturdays and Sundays. So there were holidays for them only on Saturdays and Sundays, but rest all the days they would actually go to the schoolroom, which was beside their bedroom, and there was a mechanical teacher waiting for them. So all the things were taught by the mechanical teacher. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. See, you can see in this picture that the mechanical teacher was like flashing out everything on the screen. Then, because her mother said little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. Her mother said that little girls would have more interest in learning more at the regular hours. The screen was lit up. It said, today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. So, the robotic teacher or the mechanical teacher was telling that addition of proper fractions is the lesson which must be taught to you today. And it said, please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So, the homework which was given yesterday or the day before to Margie must be placed in the proper slot into the robotic teacher. Okay, so we'll proceed into the 10th paragraph. Margie did so with a sigh. So she was like sad and did that, like placing the homeworks into the proper slot. And she was thinking about the old schools that had been when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. So during all this teaching time, even at this time, she was like thinking inside her mind, like what were the schools, how were the old schools, and what were their system when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. Okay, all the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing, shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in a classroom, going home together at the end of the day. So all the kids from the whole neighborhood, see, she is referring how the school system was there. Okay, she was telling that all the kids from the neighborhood came. So from the whole neighborhood, all the students or all the kids would come to the school with laughing loudly and shouting loudly in the schoolyard. There was a schoolyard separately, and everybody would assemble there, sitting together in a classroom, or in their context, which is the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. So they were going together to their home at the end of the day. They learned the same things so they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. So the friends circle or the friends bond or the friends relationship was like very good according to her thinking or according to the school system when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. So the school system was very fantastic according to the opinion of Margie. Okay. So she was telling that all the kids would do their homework and share their thoughts with each other. Okay. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, etc. etc. See, she was looking into the mechanical teacher's screen. The screen was flashing like it was giving multiple questions, multiple examples about how do we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, etc. etc. Okay. Then Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. See, she was still thinking even when the mechanical teacher was teaching the lesson, which was, what was the lesson? If you remember it, please do a comment. The lesson was, yeah, absolutely. The lesson was about the arithmetic lesson, which was the addition of proper fractions. Good. Okay. So she was still thinking, even when the mechanical teacher was teaching her how the kids were loving those old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So ultimately she was still thinking about how the fun they had in the olden days. So she was very interested in knowing about the old education system, about how the old kids or the all the students would actually learn, would actually enjoy those, would actually loved it, those old days. So she was thinking about the fun they had. So this comes to an end to this fun they had chapter, which was the first chapter of the Beehive class 9th. So with this we'll end this chapter, and the author of this chapter is Isaac Asimov. So with this we'll end this chapter, and with more interesting topics like these, I'll meet you in the next class. Until then, bye. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because your motivation will actually help me to do a lot more videos like these. Until then, bye and thank you.